Hi, it's Tim Altman, breathing coach and naturopath. Today I'm going to talk about asthma. Asthma is one of those illnesses that it's pretty much accepted throughout that there's a specific way of treating. If you have asthma, then you need to take either a reliever and a separate preventer, or you take a combination medication. And if you have asthma, then most people settle on the fact that this is the only way to treat, but it's not true. There are some fantastic alternative ways of treating asthma. And research has come out from medical research has come out to suggest that most asthma that is diagnosed is not actually asthma. It's breathing difficulties more than it is asthma per se. And therefore, the pathology behind asthma is a breathing issue. Whilst you can treat the immune system, we must treat breathing. And I find clinically that we get fantastic results by correcting breathing in treating asthma. The important thing to know is that what happens in asthma, the pathology of asthma, which is why relievers were brought about, was you get vasoconstriction or constriction of your breathing tubes and spasm in your breathing tubes, which makes it harder to breathe, and then you get mucus production and you start wheezing, and that's basically the pathology you experience in an asthma attack. But what most people don't realize is that most people's breathing is actually far from functional. So the average person breathes twice as often as we should and with far too much volume. In other words, we overbreathe. For example, the average person breathes 25 to 30,000 times a day, whereas we should breathe 12 to 14,000 times a day, or 8 to 10 breaths a minute. Now, this overbreathing can dramatically affect the delicate biochemical balance that is in your respiratory system that dictates how we get oxygen from the air we breathe into our cells for energy production, which is the purpose of breathing, and then we exhale carbon dioxide. Now, when we overbreathe, we have too much air going in and out, and that dramatically affects the balance, and the body sees that as a threat to survival. So in order to prevent the amount of air going in and out, it will constrict the tubes or the smooth muscle around your breathing tubes to prevent the volume of air going in and out, which upsets this biochemical balance and basically jeopardizes your ability to produce energy. So the body sees it as a threat. So that's what occurs. This constriction and spasm in our breathing tubes is what happens in asthma. But what people don't realize is that when you correct breathing function by slowing down your breathing and reducing the volume of breathing, you increase the byproduct of energy production, which is carbon dioxide. Now, carbon dioxide is not a waste gas that we should get rid of as quickly as we should. Carbon dioxide is a natural vasodilator, and that's what we need to do. If you've got vasoconstriction occurring in asthma, you want to dilate your airways, which is exactly what Ventolin does. But if you can correct breathing function, you can naturally produce more carbon dioxide, or naturally have more carbon dioxide in your system, which will mean that you produce energy more efficiently, but your system dilates. And in fact, if you look at, there's other ways of treating, but a 45-second breath hold, which will increase carbon dioxide levels dramatically because you're no longer exhaling, will give the equivalent vasodilation to one puff of Ventolin. So learning how to breathe functionally is a great way of treating asthma. I find in clinic that by correcting breathing function, in many, many cases, we can wean people off medication and reduce their asthma symptoms dramatically within a couple of months. It doesn't mean to say we say throw out your medication. By all means, we don't do that. We actually wean you off slowly, work in conjunction with your doctor and wean you slowly off, so that you may always have your Ventolin with you just in case. But if you don't have the need for it because we correct your breathing function, then you don't have to use it. And that's the important thing, because the medications you use for asthma, the vasodilator and the preventative, which is a steroid-based medication to suppress your immune system, have long-term side effects that are negative. And we don't until you basically, it's really important to get out of that cycle. Whereas learning how to breathe functionally, the only long-term side effect is that you'll make energy more efficiently, you'll have less asthma symptoms, and you'll be more relaxed. Not bad.